Alright folks, what is up? This is One Big Bugga and I'm coming at you with Euro Truck Simulator 2. We're just continuing on with our trailer. Um, Quick note, this is being recorded on the tail of the last video, which ended up almost 2 gigabytes in size. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't know why that happened, but it did. It's alright. I'm just going to let it upload when I go food shopping. And it should be almost done by the time I get home. And after I record and shower as well. So I'm not too worried about that. I got to make sure I take my dogs out before I go shower in the food shop so that they can go, get them a walk around the yard. Especially it looks like it's going to rain again. Looks like we're going back into a rain cycle, which is really going to suck. At least grass wise. But at least, the lawn's being mowed and I don't have to go over it with a weed eater. So I get to take a bit of a break on that, which is nice. Maybe even a long enough break I can see the doctor about my arm. I've been having problems with my arm. Anyways, let's get going. Lights, gears. Alright. Priority 1, gas. We need some petrol. We need diesel. In the biggest way. So, oh yeah, real quick. We honestly haven't gotten that far. We've only gone from here, right around our starting point, I believe. Or did we start back here? I don't know because it's showing me all the way back here, but I thought we started further back here in the Warsaw area. But if we go by this, we haven't gone all that far. So I don't know. I don't know how today's going to play out. I just don't. But yeah, we're on the watch for a fuel station right now. That's all that really matters. Speed limit 50. All right, game. Play it your way. Yeah, so I'm still tired. I had something else I was going to talk about. I forget what the hell it was. Very typical of me. It had something to do with weed eating in the yard, laundry, and I don't know. I don't even know where laundry came into that because I wasn't thinking a damn thing about laundry. We're crying out loud, man. This ought to be an adventure. You think yesterday was something? Oh boy. Just wait till we get going on this one, man. Alright, at least we get this out of the way. And we don't have to worry. Yeah, give me that fuel, baby. Give me that fuel. Go! For a minute there, I thought something bad happened to my truck. And then just stopped. And it's like, oh hi. Yeah, how you doing? Good to see you there. Y'all good? Okay, keep going. I've been having a lot of fun in Second Life. Meeting people, making friends, goofing off, doing stupid things. There's a lot of stuff you can do in Second Life. There really is. I mean, there's even adventures in there. If you're into like RP, kind of LARP kind. There's some really good stuff. I mean, I remember when I first tried to get into Second Life, I really wasn't all that much into it. I got frustrated with it, but now that I've committed time to it, to figuring it out, I've only just got the very edge basics down. There's so much more that can be done in the game that I can't even begin to understand. Well, you're great. This is going to be one of those ones where my mind starts trying to shut down and I go silent while driving. Yeah, that ought to make for an entertaining video, huh? Yep. For sure. Okay, come on. Come on. I need to get over. I need to get over. Thank you. Oh, I didn't need to. Actually, I want to be in this lane. I'm not using, you know, I know, oh, there goes that you know again. I'm not using the towing trailer, or the towing trailer. God. The towing transmission. I'm using the cruising transmission. Truck 13 speed rather than the 18 speed. I'm pretty sure I'll switch to the 18 speed. Should I get 120 ton trailer? Anything, or if I get something that's like considerably more than 70 tons, I'll probably switch to the 18 speed transmission for that run. Ugh, pardon me. You're gonna get that a lot, and I apologize. Come on, mind. Stop that. Yeah, my mind's still trying to do the same thing. It's trying to go off on its own little tangent, and you know, I start thinking thoughts that they're not particularly thoughts that I want to put out there on online. You know, I don't want to put them in my videos. So I don't talk about them, but my mind keeps going on them, and I start focusing on them. That's usually when I fall silent like that. It's because I'm thinking about something I don't necessarily want to talk about. But anyways, last time I was mentioning the sleep headphones. Hopefully somebody's gonna get them for me, because despite the fact that they're, you know, they're like $7-8, I honestly just can't do that. So I went to Random Acts of Kindness on Reddit, and I asked for help, and I explained, you know, I believe, and this is the part I didn't touch on before. Sorry. This is the part I didn't touch on before. I believe part of the problem that I'm having sleeping is my wife not being there. I mean, obviously that was an issue from the start. Yeah, so what's the difference now? I really couldn't say. It's just not having her there for so long is actually starting to bother me more than not having her there under the initial shock of it all. To be honest with you, and I know my wife would be embarrassed, but I don't think she has any reason to be, or would have any reason to be if she's still here. You know, she used to snore, and pretty strongly at times, and very rarely did she not snore. As a matter of fact, when she wasn't snoring, I would actually, if I was sitting up late at night, I'd actually perk up and have to go and look over to make sure she was okay. You know, because I got so used to hearing her snore. So that snoring, after 15 years of being together, well before we hit 15 years, but during that 15 years, I should say, of being together, became the song I fell asleep to, if that makes sense. You know, as long as somebody's not overly loud snoring that you've been with for a long time, it becomes that familiar sound that you fall asleep to. You know, kind of like the droning of a fan, or you know, something like that. Which is one of the reasons I can't sleep in silence, because to me silence is deafening at night. But I just feel like there's some kind of weird progression going on that it's getting worse. And that really bothers me. You know, I don't want it to get worse. But I can't help it from getting worse. My wife's snoring was a key note in me sleeping. After nearly 5 months, it's actually becoming an issue. It's actually, I should say, it's becoming a bigger issue than what it was. And it's more difficult for me to sleep. I know a lot of people may say, nah, that's not how it works. It's probably something else. It's probably stress. Well, you know, yeah. Stress could be a factor for sure. But I know that I lay there at night and I don't hear my wife snoring. It really bothers me. It's like I've finally healed through the major upfront shock, hurt, value, I guess, of my wife not being here anymore. But that means now that I'm dealing with the long term. And that long term is just not having her there and not hearing her snore while I'm trying to sleep. And that really bothers me, you know? Just to tell you how sensitive I am to her snoring, despite the fact that when I laid down to go to sleep, I was completely exhausted at 2 in the morning. I didn't wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning on the day that she passed away. I didn't wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning because I needed to go to the bathroom or my dogs needed to go to the bathroom because it was hot. I wasn't sure why I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, my wife had been gone long enough for the color in her lips to turn blue. Despite, you know, she being Hawaiian and therefore darker skinned, I could tell by looking at her, once I looked closely enough, that her lips were blue. But her body was still warm. Granted, she was covered under a blanket, but not completely. Her shoulders were bare, but her shoulders were still warm to my touch. So she couldn't have been gone too long. And I kept thinking, what made me wake up? Was it just knowing, you know, my body knew? My body, my mind knew it, could sense it. And in a way, yes, but not in the way you would think. Like, you know, you get that ominous feeling that something's bad. What woke me up, I feel, is that she wasn't snoring. And she hadn't started snoring for a little while. Because my wife didn't snore all night. You know, she'd snore for a while, then stop, and then snore for a while, then stop. And I think in my mind it went too long without her snoring, and it actually, if it wasn't the reason I woke up, it contributed to the reason I woke up. Speed cameras, I don't know what the speed limit is. Let's slow it down to 90 just to be safe. That should be good. So, despite the fact that after 5 months I should be getting, I feel anyways, I should be getting used to her being gone. And I am in many ways, but in terms of sleeping, in terms of her being there at night, I'm not. It's actually getting worse. I cannot, like I said, in any way, shape, or form sleep in silence. I have to have a background noise. If I don't, I just don't sleep. I don't know why I got into that lane. I just did. Yeah, but I don't know why. I just don't sleep. I can't. There's got to be some kind of background noise. So if there's speed limit cameras here, the speed limit should be 120. So I should be okay at 105. That's how I feel. I feel that because she wasn't snoring, my mind started to feel that something was wrong. Because Koa wasn't trying to wake me up to go out, neither was Bella. And I'd only had her for a very short amount of time as well. I didn't get up to go to the bathroom. So I'm not 100% sure what was going on. I'm actually like feeling really tired right now. It's actually concerning to me because I really want to go food shopping. I feel like if my mother-in-law is going to go out, or if she has gone out, then I'm just going to nap when I'm done with this and try and get some extra sleep. And after I take my dogs out, obviously. I really need to take them out first. A little too low. Oh, well, we don't need our lights anymore, do we? No, we don't. We're climbing a considerable hill with a 45-ton trailer. We're really not bleeding off all that much speed. That's pretty impressive. That's the tribute to that 1,000 horsepower engine. Eighth gear still too low. Seventh, especially we're about to crest the hill. Seventh is actually pretty good. That's really, really strong for a 45-ton trailer. Come on, wake up. I'm just really sapped right now, and I knew this was going to be difficult. I knew I was going to be tired, but I didn't think I was going to be this tired. I mean, I feel like I haven't slept. Damn. 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 Okay, stop. People hitting that unsubscribe button right about now. Knock it off. Trying to think of other things to talk about. My mind's just not cooperating. One thing I found funny, you know, and I'm not going to go on a tirade about this, but I am going to touch on it, is finally Obama did speak up. And I think he spoke up a little bit before, but he was much more direct and honest about it right now. Or when he said it, and I believe this was around Friday that he did. He basically did call for stronger gun control laws, and he basically did say he's in favor of it, but he blamed Congress for blocking the collection of data and other stuff, for there not being, and I think he might have mentioned something about the NRA. And in short, he said, you know, you, the people, you need to vote. You need to get out there and make this happen. You need to make your voices heard. You gotta make them understand that this is what you want. You know, when the voting comes around. I know there's a truck there. I'm not sure how I pulled that off, but I did. I am really not sure how I pulled that off. I can't help that. That sound is so fucking awesome. Forgot my directional. That's all right. So, on the one hand, he's right. Well, not just on the one hand. Just flat out, he's right. The only way that gun laws and gun controls are really going to be passed is if the people that want something done speak up and fight for something to be done. That's all there is to it. If you don't say something, then nothing's going to be done. Period. End of story. End of the line. All of that. The problem about getting people rallied to do that, though, is giving them someone to rally behind. My puppy's playing. Yeah, she's playing either with a bug or a towel. I see that there's a towel, but she could have a bug. I can talk about that after I'm done here, actually. Oh, you gonna let me go? Thank you. Gonna take this ultra wide just because I saw that car move forward. So I can't think. I think she's got a bug, to be honest. Yeah, but getting someone to rally behind tends to be the problem. Because any major cause, any major movement, anything really big and powerful that has happened in the United States by the people has always had a major rallying behind it and has always had figureheads, or at least a common symbol to get behind. You know, moving my chair here. Women's rights had figureheads and leaders. The African Americans getting equal rights and being treated equally had figureheads. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. Even gay, you know, the equality of treatment of gays, lesbians. I can't see around the trees. I'm really trying to be stupid right now. I shouldn't. Oh, now she's after her tail. Yeah. She's the first dog I've ever had that actually goes after her tail. And she'll go after it so hard she'll actually knock herself over trying to get it. Cutest damn thing you've ever seen. But I was just saying, even the equality treatment for gay people, lesbians, and all that, they not only had the rallying cry, basically, of gay pride, but even though they didn't have a major figurehead leader, like Martin Luther King or something of that nature, what they did have was a common symbol. And that symbol could easily be used on anything, which is basically just taking a picture, a symbol that represents you or anything like that, and basically applying a rainbow filter over top. That was it. You know, basically a rainbow. And it allowed people not only to rally behind a common cause. I knew you were going to do that, dude. He came really close to hitting my trailer. But yeah, you know, not only did they have a common cause, but they had a common symbol. So, I mean, there are big supporters out there during times like that, like Ellen DeGeneres, and even George Takeda, you know, the Sulu from Star Trek. He's become, you know, popular basically on the internet, or at least was for a while. He was hilarious, and some of the answers and things that he did. I mean, he is a personality and a half, and everybody loved him for it. You know, so they had people they could look up to and people that they could admire in that, but no actual figurehead or leaders. But it was that common symbol, along with that common goal, that gave people a point to rally to. And sadly, that's not going to happen with gun control. Is not going to happen unless that happens to gun control. Unless a very common symbol led by a small, very dedicated core group of people crops up, or a common leader figurehead that can spearhead the whole thing. Someone along the lines, you know, of a, I just don't trust moving over with you. Maybe not someone as powerful and as charismatic, and I don't know what other word I'm looking for. There's just something there. Somebody that you can believe in as much as a Martin Luther King. Doesn't mean that you can't work. Having somebody able to take up that position would really be what it would need to get going. And I don't care who that person is, a senator, congressman, civilian, military, I don't care. Typical me. I like to keep my speed at 105 kilometers per hour. No faster, no slower. Look down at the speedometer. I'm doing 115, 120. Yep. 105 kilometers per hour. Oh, you can tell I'm tired when I laugh at something as simple as that. It's a Gabriel Iglesias thing where he talked about doing a voiceover for the Disney animated movie Planes, and when he did that, he became very popular, and everyone wanted him to come work for him. And Nickelodeon was the one that called him, and he was supposed to play the voice for a toy car. But the voice that he was supposed to supply was Mexican, of course. And they got more and more aggravating because they really wanted him to stereotype things up. And Gabriel was actually just getting frustrated with it. And I don't know. Gabriel's not one to tell false stories. So the most I can see is that this story is completely true. They wanted him to provide the sound effect for a car, for a toy car. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I can do that." And he does his usual kind of deal. And then the lady gets on the mic and says, "Well, that's great, but I was wondering, could you put a little spice on that?" Spice being the word they're using for wanting to put an accent on it. And Gabriel's like, he couldn't believe what he's hearing because they want him to put an accent on a sound effect. So he's supposed to figure out a way to do a Mexican accent. for car driving by. And that's where he came up with Varoom. I can't do it, obviously, the way Gabriel can. But it's still hilarious. And it makes me laugh every time. I love watching just funny clips on YouTube. And they could be anything, like One Piece, man. I started cracking up. In One Piece. Because in One Piece, I think a lot of people... Oh, shit, not gonna stop in time. Okay. I didn't expect traffic to come to an almost... You know, I was just gonna move over to the left, into the next lane, as the car that was next to me was going by. And the next thing I know, that car starts coming to a stop, and I don't have room to do the same. Okay. But anyways, some people compare One Piece to Dragon Ball. Plus, I think the creator of One Piece is inspired by Dragon Ball, likes Dragon Ball. I really don't know too much about the behind the stories and behind the scenes of it. But that's just how I feel about it. That's what I believe. Because there's usually a lot of tongue-in-cheek references in One Piece to Dragon Ball. And get this one thing, and this is one of those rare instances where an English dub version is equally as hilarious as the Japanese English subtitled. But in One Piece, if you don't know, there's a guy named Sanjay, and he is... I wouldn't so much say a pervert. He's more... That's not the right word for it. The right word for it I come up with is a horn dog. He's all about the ladies. He always loses control when it comes to being around beautiful women. Nosebleeds, you know, acting the fool, trying to be the ultimate romantic, always trying to kiss up to the girls. That's not to say that there's not perversion in him. Oh, he's very perverted. But he's not like overly perverted. Like in the game, the other guy that's perverted, Brook. He doesn't like constantly ask someone to see the panties. He just like freaks out when he sees a beautiful woman scantily clad and all that. So, anyways, his biggest crush, and I go on record saying that his biggest crush in One Piece is Nami, the navigator. Even though he's got a crush on every girl he ever sees. That includes their archaeologist, who's a little too high, Nico Robin. Still, his biggest crush is on Nami. What do we got? A four-way red? Okay. Don't know what happened there. Anyways, I guess there was this invisible dude that kidnapped Nami, wanted to marry her. And, in the end, I haven't seen the episodes yet. I've only seen clips. I haven't watched or even read, and I don't read the manga, to be honest. So I'm not a true One Piece fan. I'm a fan of the anime, not so much the manga. And anyways, it doesn't matter. Losing my train of thought again. Sanjay, Luffy, the captain, tells Sanjay, "I'm gonna leave you to rescue Nami." And Sanjay goes, you know, "But that's damn right." And this fire starts forming around him. He says, "I don't care." And this is I'm semi-quoting the Japanese English dub, English subtitled right now, English subtitled. I didn't need to take it nearly that wide. But Sanjay, you know, starts getting all. I mean, when I say fired up, I mean there's like literally fire around him, and he starts going ballistic. And I don't care if this guy's invisible or a genie. I'm going to kick him into this mist with purpose. And he's freaking out. And then Usopp, who's the ship's sniper, goes, "Oh, I forgot to tell you that the invisible guy saw Nami completely naked in the shower." And Sanjay snaps at that point, and you literally get the Japanese version. He goes, "Nani," which translated, I guess, means what? Oh, nope, nope, too low, too low, too low. Sorry, I should have only gone one, not two. So yeah, Sanjay goes completely ballistic. And his teeth like dagger out at that point, pointed teeth, and he like comes up real close, you know, drawn real close up to the camera, and his face turns like all red, and he looks like he's transforming into a demon. And then you just hear this boom sound, and the sound that oh, here we go again. See what I mean with the endless fucking traffic? See how the cars are coming like perfectly fucking spaced, and I've got like very little choice but to try and bully my way? Dude, you're stopping. Because if you don't, I will be here all day and never get to go. And the sound when Sanjay like snaps at that point is the same power-up sound for going Super Saiyan. And if you actually watch the scene really, really closely, it looks a lot like Sanjay is in a Super Saiyan form. I'm not sure how much further we have to go. It's not going to be in this video. I just want to see how much further we have to go. And in order to do that, I have to get away only about 400. So I'll figure that out in the next episode. So it looks like Sanjay's like powering up into you know, like a Super Saiyan would. And we pan to Zoro, who's the ship's swordsman and basically second in command. And Zoro goes, "Boy, I think if this guy gets any more intense, he's going to transform." And that's a direct reference to transforming into a Super Saiyan or, you know, whatever level at that point. Bella. We'll go out in a little bit, I promise. Almost done. She jumped up on my shoulder. She wants me to take her out. In the American version, it's basically the same thing, except, you know, Sanjay says a few different things while he's going nuts. Like, you know, I'm gonna kick this guy into fractions. I don't quite remember, but it's the part where Zoro talks again. You know, after what's his face? Usopp says about being seen naked in the shower, and Chopper, who's the ship's little reindeer doctor. If you don't know One Piece, I'm not explaining it. Go look it up. Zoro looks over to Usopp and goes, "Hey, why'd you have to tell him that? What, he didn't look angry enough already?" I mean, it's a perfect tongue-in-cheek reference, and I'd even call it a tribute to Dragon Ball, with Sanjay snapping out and like his power reaching a whole nother level with the power-ups and like I said, in the Japanese version, they can direct reference by saying he's going to transform Dragon Ball. In the American version, they changed it most likely out of copyright fear, which is something I could really go on about, but I'm not going to. So yeah, It was fucking hilarious. But that's going to be all for this episode, folks. I hope you've been enjoying watching this as much as I've been enjoying bringing it to you, despite the fact that I've been ultimately tired. I really hope this has been entertaining. Uh, I would feel that is because I know I've been goofy, but I also had silent parts. I have enough problems focusing and concentrating when I'm awake at times. Make me when I'm tired, I really can lose my train of thought very, very easily. So, anyways, as I said, I'm done for this episode, and I shall